I will deal with the Ministry of Finance, but generally I want to commend the Auditor-General for their consistency in doing a good job in terms of auditing the public accounts of our country and always putting up the right signals to ensure that we improve. Unfortunately, the reports of the Auditor General consistently is not being well managed. And for me, if we don't work on the eroding of public confidence in public finance administration in our country, we will be endangering our democracy. And I am a worried person when it comes to Auditor General's report, because the interpretation of it in this country is not necessarily the situation in most cases. I mean, people are quick to lump it all up as a corruption and stealing syndicate or situation, which sometimes is not the case, because it could just be as a result of some delays in payment, non-recovery of loans that are backed by people's salaries. You can't run away with it, okay? And all kinds of things, tax non-payment and all kinds of things. So when you delve deep into the Auditor General's report, you realize that even though there are some situations of concern, it is not as dangerous as we put it out there. And so I have a few proposals and reforms.
We'll get to the specifics as you
Yes.
the proposals, but Honorable, some will say that you're an astute politician. You've been in this space for quite a long time. When did that concern arise? Was it just recently?
Well,
when it had to put up things that had to do with your space, or these concerns have been there, and whilst you were in Parliament and all the rest, you have been pushing that let's work on the first. We had complained about the timeliness of it. It's been a little bit timely. When did this concern suddenly came up? You have been in this space for quite a while.
Well, I have always maintained this position. And I must also admit, I didn't understand the details of much of it until I got a fuller picture in Parliament and also as a CEO. You know, when I was CEO for NEIP, there were some expenditures that when you are the CEO, you realize that you have spent the money in your administration, and then the auditor comes. And then it's not they are not concerned about the table you bought for the office. They are interested in how you bought the table. And even though there's a receipt to show that you have bought the table and there's evidence of the table, you could still be cited if maybe the mode of selection of the supplier was not fully exhausted. You get it?
Yeah.
So that is when I started understanding that indeed when we say there is irregularity or there is a problem in the public management of finances, it is not always the case that somebody has stolen money.
Yeah.
And in fact, Domilovo himself, when he was the auditor, he was cited in 7 million Ghana cedis transaction when he bought pickups for the audit service.
Yeah.
And it is the same situation. So it doesn't matter whether you are the auditor or you are the executive or any institution, you could still go through the same problem. My problem, my point, my concern is just the public education of it.
On it. People appreciating that this is not chopping of money, but sometimes even going ahead to spend before approval comes.
And the handling of the resolution. When finally it is resolved, we don't come back to the public. Okay, so I raised it the last time I led the Ghana Revenue Authority to the Public Accounts Committee. I raised it with the Public Accounts Committee. And of course, in order to address that issue, you have to look at Article 187, Article 188, Article 189 of the 1992 Constitution.